Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of Sports with Monga. And we are back with Formula One content. What a race! What a qualifying race! But before that, also the sprint qualifying. There's been a lot of mixed feelings for me because I've not been able to kind of get on top of them to understand what's really happening in the Formula One weekend this time around. Because we had the sprint as well, which have not been possible had a chance to cover. But before we get into it, and I will start reviewing the Chinese Grand Prix qualifying reaction. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I hope you do enjoy the content. Sports with Monga. The idea is here to bring you a fan-filled commentary or understanding of how I see these races, sports which I cover around Formula One, Champions League, Europa League, the Premier League, Bundesliga. So if you are excited and interested to join, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to be updated for further videos, and we get on to the video now. So Formula One is back to China after 5 long years. It's been a race that people have been thinking of. Zhou Guanyu has finally had his home race. Been a while for him, but well, it is actually happening. But no change in the story that we have seen for quite a while here. Max Verstappen has continued his strong run of form after clinching a dominant pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix. Today, that took Red Bull Racing's pole position to be 100th pole position for Red Bull Racing. Pretty interesting qualifying because we had some drama, a lot of drama in this, because we've had a different run-in. Sprint race happened. Sprint race happened in the rain. There was qualifying. There was the tarmac has been newly painted, new tarmac all around. So a very new circuit for all the racers to get their heads around this. But the Dutchman set the pace throughout the session at the Shanghai International Circuit and improved further in Q3, setting an unbeaten time of 1 minute 33.660 seconds, while an exciting battle ensured for P2. It was Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez who took the position. Fernando Alonso put his Aston Martin in third ahead of the McLaren duo of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, while Charles Leclerc followed in sixth. Carlos Sainz recovered from an earlier incident in Q2, having spun into the barriers, bringing out the red flag in the process to finish the session in P7 with George Russell that led a Mercedes in P8. Nico, Hulkenberg and Valtteri Bottas completed the top 10 respectively. Aston Martin's Lance Stroll was eliminated in P11 after Bottas improved to get into P10, with the RB of Daniel Ricciardo suffering the same fate in P12. Despite both getting into Q2 for the first time this season, Alpine pair of Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly ended in P13 and P15 respectively, while the Williams of Alex Albon was sandwiched between them in P14. There was a shock in Q1. Yes, guys, there was a shock. And you will be wondering, where was Lewis Hamilton? This is the shock. There was a shock in Q1 as Lewis Hamilton found himself pushed into the drop zone, ending the session in P18. Yes, you've heard that right again, guys. Drop in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Lewis Hamilton P18 in the Chinese Grand Prix. This is his worst since 2022. And it's just going crazy. Like I just don't understand, how can Lewis Hamilton, who was basically starting pretty high in the sprint, is starting P18 in the qualifying and in the race. I don't think there are any chances of him scoring points. There are a lot of deer, but then Chinese Grand Prix has a lot of carnage. The home hero, Zhou Guanyu, was another name to exit early on in P16, and with Kick Sauber struggling for grip in front of his home fans, Haas Kevin Magnussen found himself as P17, with RB's Yuki Tsunoda suffering a disappointing P19, and Logan Sargent ended the session with P20 for Williams. A lot of talking points here. Let's start with Lewis Hamilton. I think it's just bad. He doesn't have the confidence in the car anymore, in my opinion. I think also the fact that he is heading out and would be in the Ferrari in the next year. I think it's okay for him to kind of drop the pedal, but he is not one of those drivers who would just drive without having that, like, knowing that he can drive well in that car. So that's kind of surprising to me. But I also understand that this is exactly why he wants to move away from Mercedes, because he just doesn't get the hang of this car anymore. But then Russell does. Russell, that's why, and that's kind of my thinking as well. But this is pretty bad for Lewis Hamilton. I think this would be the shock and the biggest surprise for sure. And let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about Lewis Hamilton? Do you feel that he can actually get some points? I don't think there's anything for him right now. In the offering, starting P18 completely wrecks his qualifying, but it also was because of a spin. It was his mistake. He went deep into turn 7, I think, and then he just lost too much time and he couldn't just recover. So there's a lot of battling happening, because they were talking about they changed the setup. Russell going one way, one direction, and Hamilton choosing to go in the other direction. So that's going to be very interesting to see how this kind of plays out eventually. But it also helps Mercedes to know what not to do. That's an important point, and that's what they should focus on. Let's talk about Yuki Tsunoda, who at the end of the race, basically, he doesn't understand why he was P19. He had a good qualifying, apparently, and he had a good run. That's kind of strange. I think this is just frustration talking, because Daniel Ricciardo out-qualified him for the first time, I think, in this season, quite comfortably. And I think that's what's showing off on Mr. Yuki Tsunoda's mind. Logan Sargent, the biggest surprise. I don't know why we are still talking about Logan Sargent. He spun on himself without any pressure, without anything, and was completely out, P20 again. I think it's time to cut him out before end of the summer. Get a new driver, get somebody new. There are better players, Oliver Behrman, anybody from the Ferrari or Mercedes driver academy could kind of just jump on that car, in my opinion, and then you could see how this kind of progresses. But I think Logan Sargent needs to get out of Formula One. Sorry for that, and fans can come after me now, but I think it is time we talk reality. Kevin Magnussen has been struggling in the qualifying, and Nico Hulkenberg is doing a crazy job. I don't understand how Nico Hulkenberg gets the Haas car with both car had the upgrades in Q3 quite consecutively, and Magnussen is struggling really bad. So this is kind of interesting to see how this plays out importantly. On the other end, interesting to see Daniel Ricciardo do better, Lance Stroll obviously doing better, but then it's very interesting to see Lance Stroll kind of, because Aston Martin, Mr. Fernando Alonso, of course, he's special, two-time world champion. There's no comparison with Mr. Stroll, but he puts the car P3 right ahead of McLaren and Ferrari. He in the post-race conference, also post-race, post-qualifying conference, did say, press conference did say that he surprised himself, but that he'll be happy if he finishes P7 or P8 in the race. It's going to be hard to kind of keep McLaren and the Ferrari boys behind, and that's very interesting to Mr. Lance Stroll, because I think there needs to be a point where he needs to kind of walk away here as well, to give more and better options to others as well. Fernando Alonso also coming back from signing a new lifetime deal. If you've not checked out the video, do check out the video. And if you've watched till now, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, hit the like button as well. Carlos Sainz, a good, interesting battle for him. He was the lead Ferrari driver until Q2. He dropped the car in the gravel in the last turn. Damaged it, caused a red flag. But it's so funny that he changed he said in the post-race, post-qualifying press conference that he was able to manage to change the steering a little bit before the impact. That helped the car to not be completely broken. So that's his presence of mind and shows his thoughtfulness, how self-aware and how aware he is about the car. And even when it snaps away from him, when he's kind of about to crash, he's kind of thinking about how to kind of minimize the damage. Somebody go tell this to William, that drivers can actually do that as well. They'll be like, please, can we just save some crashes? But Carlos Sainz obviously coming back into Q3, and then putting the car in P7. That's impressive, I would say, considering somebody who's just crashed and caused a red flag to come back and be able to put the car P7 ahead of George Russell. Leclerc doing a better job because of the guy thing, in my opinion. The gap was not too much. It was really minor. Charles Leclerc P6, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris P4 and P5. McLaren boys are the surprise packet. I think Piastri has found his feet better. Norris would be pissed and irritated because of the mess that he created in the sprint after leading the after being on pole for sprint. He completely botched it up and fucked up his chances to basically win the sprint race. In the other way, it's basically a Max super drive again. Max and Sergio Perez, I think, will be miles apart already unless something happens in turn 1 or reliability hits back again. And I think it's going to be straightforward. Red Bull 1-2, along with, I think, one McLaren, or it could also be a Ferrari. But there's an interesting race. Hulk is consistent, and that's the interesting point as well. Nico Hulkenberg, I think there's a seat for him soon. Williams could just get Nico Hulkenberg. Why not? Like, put some experience there, and then you see how the cars can run better. Let me know in the comments below what do you think. That's a wrap for me. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this. Did you watch the qualifying? Of course, it's pretty early, but I think we are excited for the race to happen. And interesting to see how the battle kind of shapes up. Who takes it up? Who takes the fight to the Red Bulls? Can Ferrari actually do it? Or will the McLarens pip Ferrari in this race? Interesting to see how Mercedes is still struggling with setup, but Aston Martin could also be the surprise package. There's a lot to play for, a lot of drama still. And get in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Thanks for your support. I realize 100% of you, or most of you guys, love the video but do not subscribe. So please hit the subscribe button. Help grow the channel. And thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you liked it. Share with your friends who've been watching, and all the best for the Chinese Grand Prix, which we will review tomorrow. Catch you then. See ya.